Well, Dr. Shefali has been hailed as absolutely revolutionary by none other than Oprah Winfrey.
She's absolutely revolutionary and so evolved that her ideas are really a paradigm shift that can change the world.
See, I told you we're in sync, Oprah.
You're in sync, you two, BFFs. Selling millions of books worldwide, the clinical psychologist is teaching families everywhere how to better connect. And we're thrilled to say she joins us live from New York. Dr. Shefali, thank you so much for your time. It's high praise from Oprah, but you get high praise from everyone. I've been following you on Instagram for quite a long time and you have an enormous following. And it's all about this idea for you of conscious parenting. Can you explain to us what that is?
Well, just in a nutshell, it is a whole new way of parenting, unlike the way that we were raised in, which was based in fear and shame, hierarchy and rigid, children are to be seen, not heard. This model is really about the parent really parenting themselves so that we can truly attune to our children and give them the emotional validation and the connection that will set them off into becoming their most empowered and resilient selves. We parents don't realize how much power we hold. We're just using the power in all the wrong ways. So this book kind of shows parents how to do it right. I set out a process for them to follow so that they can best connect and raise the most empowered, resilient children.
So why is this essential to a healthy family dynamic? There'd be a lot of people out there saying, well, my family's fine.
Well, we all have different definitions of fine. And what we find in psychology and in research is that connection, emotional attunement, the degree of attachment we have to our earliest caregivers sets us up for the greatest success. And most of us are actually eroding that foundation as parents without realizing it. And, none of us ever went to school. We didn't get a license. We didn't get a degree in parenting. So that's why this work is so important, because it's that curriculum, it's that textbook you wish your children came home with. If we don't follow conscious parenting and we keep imposing our ways unconsciously onto our children, we actually erode the attachment. When you erode the attachment, you set them up for many, dysfunctional patterns when they grow up.
Can you give us some examples of some of the most common mistakes that you see in parenting?
Well, the most common mistakes are that parents overreact. We over-control and we overburden our children with ideas of perfectionism, super success, and achievement. So overreaction and over-control then creates in the child this sense of shame, not enoughness, unworthiness, guilt, which then causes them to feel afraid of failure, because now they're looking for that approval on the outside, which they should have been given from a very young age from within. The next most common mistake we make as parents is that we disempower our children by over-parenting, by over-interfering, by over-enabling, and we actually cripple their own inner capacity to know themselves, to articulate their knowing, and to manifest their inner knowing.
Can you give us then advice on how to be more conscious as parents?
Well, you're going to have to read my books, but at a very simplistic level, it is the awareness that we are bringing our own mindset into the dynamic, our own belief systems, our own patterns, and we need to disrupt these patterns and best connect with our children versus correct our children. I always say it's connection before correction and control.
There are a lot of people out there, though, that live with trauma and, it's well within those rights of those people to raise children. How do we get out of our own way as parents with trauma, if you are living with that, to raise better kids?
Well, that's the key. It's to recognize that you have trauma. It's okay, with compassion and wholesomeness, enter this healing process, because otherwise you will pass down your unprocessed feelings and emotional baggage onto your children, and children's shoulders are not ready to bear this burden of generational pain. So we owe it to our children to be the pattern disruptors so that the legacy of shame and guilt and unworthiness stops with us. It doesn't get passed down. And my book is really therapy in 20 steps. And I give practice exercises and really concrete tools for parents to begin to build that muscle of consciousness to heal themselves so they can set their children free.
I can see why she's the best.
You make a lot of sense.
I can see why you're the best.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shefali, for coming on. We really appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much.
And you can grab a copy of The Parenting Map, I will be, from
Same.
any major book retailer in store or online.
She's amazing.
She's great, isn't she?